Amaka woke up drenched in sweat, her heart pounding violently against her chest. Her breath came in short, uneven gasps as she sat up abruptly, eyes darting around the dimly lit bedroom. The shadows cast by the flickering bedside lamp seemed to stretch across the room like dark claws. She was still in Chief Dike's mansion. The silk sheets beneath her felt cold, almost foreign, as if they belonged to someone else. Her hands trembled as she ran them over her face, trying to shake off the remnants of the terrifying dream that had felt so real. She had escaped, she had run, felt the wind on her skin, heard the rush of her own breath as she climbed over the balcony. She had tasted freedom, but now, here she was, still trapped. It was just a dream. Or was it a warning? Tenny's letters, they were real. She had found them hidden in the study. Words of a woman who had seen the same darkness Amaka now faced. Tenny hadn't been the first wife, and if she didn't act fast, she might not be the last. Chief Dike had to travel to Italy for a business trip, and as soon as Chief Dike left for his business trip, Amaka knew she had no time to waste. She had 3 days, 3 precious days, to piece together the truth before he returned. She went through the old mansion, started with the study, retracing her steps from the last time she had stumbled upon Tenny's hidden letters. Her hands were steadier now as she combed through every piece of paper, searching for something, anything she might have missed. And then she found it, a photograph, tucked inside a faded envelope beneath a stack of old files. It was a wedding picture, but the bride wasn't Tenny. The woman was unfamiliar, yet there was something eerily familiar about her face, as though Amaka had seen a ghost of her in passing. The date on the back read 2013, 5 years before Tenny had even met Chief Dike. With a deep breath, she flipped the picture over again. The bright smile was forced, her body slightly stiff as if she were nervous even on her wedding day. Amaka's stomach twisted with unease. Digging deeper, she found another letter, older than the ones from Tenny. The handwriting was shaky, desperate. The name at the top of the page made her breath itch. Ebere. He's not who he says he is. If anything happens to me, tell my family. Tell them I tried. Amaka clenched the letter tightly, a fresh wave of horror washing over her. Tenny wasn't the only victim. This man, this monster had done this before. Acting quickly, she copied out some of the names and dates she found and sent a coded message to her sister. To anyone else, it looked like an ordinary text about old school friends, but hidden in the initials of the names, her sister would find the real message. If anything happened to her, at least someone would know the truth. Her sister wasted no time. She reached out to a private investigator, a man named Mr. Okoro, who had built a reputation for digging into high-profile cases. Disguised as a house maintenance worker, he managed to enter into Chief Dike's mansion while he was away, posing as a repairman fixing the air conditioning system. Amaka met him in secret in the back garden, her hands clammy with nerves. "Madam," he said after flipping through the documents she had smuggled out of the study. "This man you're living with is worse than you think, oh." Amaka swallowed hard. "Tell me everything." Mr. Okoro has spent the past 48 hours digging through archives, police records, and hidden reports. Chief Dike had been married twice. Haha, both wives were dead. Ebere, the first wife, had died in a house fire, but reports suggested that she had been unconscious before the flames even consumed her. The fire was declared an accident, though some officers had privately suspected otherwise. Moraya, the second wife, had drowned in bathtub of the same mansion where Amaka now lived. Hey! The medical examiner had noted bruises on her arms, but the case had been closed before a proper investigation could be conducted. Then came Tenny, and now Amaka. A deep chill settled over her. It was as if the spirits of those women were crying out to her, urging her to be their voice. She couldn't ignore them. By the time Chief Dike returned, Amaka pretended not to know anything. Amaka stared at Chief Dike. Her heart beat loud in her ears. The room was silent except for the ticking of the antique clock on the wall. She confronted him, and what did he do? He slapped her. But now he just stood there, watching her with a strange glint in his eyes. I know what you did, she whispered. Oh, the photograph of the first wife. I know about Iberi, Murayo, Tenny. Chief DK chuckled, slow and deep, before taking a deliberate sip of his whiskey. Ah, he exhaled, smacking his lips. So he finally put the pieces together. Amaka clenched her fist. Why did you kill them? He tilted his head. Amusement dancing in his cold dark eyes. Kill? That's such an ugly word. He swirled his drink. I gave them purpose. And when they failed me, I removed them. Amaka's skin crawled. I love the Biri, you know? He continued, his voice calm, almost nostalgic. She was my first. Beautiful, smart. But she became ungrateful. He scowled, as if recalling an unpleasant memory. She questioned me. She wanted freedom. A woman should at least know her place. His fingers tightened around the glass. So, I made an example. You set the fire, Amaka whispered, horror creeping up her spine. She was unconscious before the flame even got to her. He said casually, I made sure of that. Amaka's throat tightened. And Murayo, she pressed. Chief DK exhaled sharply. Murayo was different. She was ambitious just like you. He smiled bitterly. She wanted power, wanted to control my business, my own wealth. She even tried to blackmail me. He scoffed, a woman blackmailing me? Can you imagine? He let out a dry laugh. She drowned. A tragic accident, and that's what they all said. That's what they all believed. Amaka's body trembled, but she forced herself to keep listening. And Tenny, he asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Something flickered across his face. Anger, regret, resentment. Tenny disappointed me the most, he admitted. She was perfect at first, obedient, beautiful, well-mannered. But then started asking too many questions. She got too curious. His eyes darkened. She found out about Murayo. Amaka's breath itched. I didn't want to kill her, he continued, almost as if he was justifying himself. But she wouldn't let it go. She was stubborn, just like you, he snapped, his gaze piercing. She would have ruined everything. So you poisoned her? She stopped eating my food, he said with a slight frown. Smart girl, but not smart enough. I found another way. Amaka's stomach churned. He had killed them, all of them. And now he was looking at her like she was next. She had to stall. You think you're untouchable, she said, folding her hands to hide the shaking. Chief DK leaned back, watching her like a predator, enjoying the chase. I don't think, he said with a smile. I know. A bit of silence. Then, a loud bang as front door burst open. Police officers stormed in, their guns raised. Chief DK barely flinched. He exhaled, took one last sip of his whiskey, then set the glass down gently. He turned to Amaka smiling. You called them, didn't you? Amaka didn't respond. Chief DK said, I underestimated you. For once in your life, she said, her voice steady, you were the weak one. The officers grabbed him, twisting his arms behind his back. As they dragged him away, he chuckled to himself, shaking his head. Just before stepping out, he turned back to Amaka one last time. I would have made you my best wife yet, he said with a smirk. But I guess we'll never know. And with that, Chief DK was gone. Amaka let out a shaky breath, her knees buckling as the weight of everything crashed down on her. She was free, finally free.